Hello everybody, in this video I will share an example about OpenID Connect and React. I assume that you are already familiar with OpenID Connect and React, so I'm not going to go in deep about those topics, but maybe we can talk a bit about OpenID Connect. It is a simple identity layer and it allows clients to verify the identity. This is a simple explanation for OpenID. In a short term, we will call it OIDC. And maybe we can also talk a bit about the flow, authentication flow. Here in the visual, we have three sites. One of them is client. The other one is authorization server. We will call it identity server. The next and the last site is resource server, which is API. So client wants to get some data from resource server, but if the client is not authenticated, it should first get some access token from who? From authorization server, from identity server. So this flow will be managed by a package between client and identity server. So we will implement these steps. We are not going to develop an API. We will just get an access token, and maybe we will show some profile info on the screen. That's all. This is our simple flow, and we are going to use this package. It is react-oidc, which is developed by AXA France. It is an open source package. This package provides some ready-made components, ready-made methods. This package manages the connection, manages some flow between the identity server and the client. So at first, let's begin with creating a React application with create React app templates. So I will run the command of npx create React app, and I'm going to give it a name about OIDC. So I think it will be good to give a title of OIDC example. So let's press enter. Sorry about that, because we got some conflict about that. Maybe I have same folder, because yeah, I created an example before. Let me here it is. Let me clean the folder first, then create it from scratch with the command again. So okay, let's wait a bit. Our template project has been created by the command. So let's change the directory, the created directory, and open it with VS Code. So I mentioned about the package of this. So we need the npm package name, this is not one. It should be AXA France React OIDC. Yeah, this is the correct one. Let's copy this command and okay, this is the template project from React Create App. We need to clear some styles or SVGs because we don't need those assets. Also, I can delete from here and logo SVG here. Okay, so we also installed our OIDC package. Here it is. We also need React Router DOM for managing our routing mechanism, because our example includes some public pages and protected pages. Our ultimate goal will be manage the public and protected pages. For example, if the user tries to access the protected page from the browser URL bar, it will automatically redirect to login page if the user is not authenticated. So we will need some routing mechanism about that. So first let's create our public page, for example home JSX. So maybe we can use some snippets to create a simple component for this page like this. We will also need a protected page. We can call it admin JSX, and also we can use our simple snippet. That's enough for now. And we maybe we can also create a template for these pages. I mean layout, master layout. So we can call the root file as index, and maybe we can create a header component and a footer component. So we can use these. Let's create the header and the footer first, and let's create the header, and maybe we can use semantic HTML for this our application. It could be header as well, and we can also create a footer. Again, we are using the semantic HTML here, and maybe we can create our layout like this, and we will pass our pages here with the children prop for wrapping our pages with our layout. So, and we have header like this, and we have footer at the bottom of the page like this, and we will pass our children property here. I'm using GitHub's autopilot, and the autopilot has automatically completed here this line. So our layout is ready. We have admin and home, so we can wrap our pages with layout. Oops, the end tag has not automatically renamed, so I will pass the same one, and also I can use layout here. So with this example, we also covered the layout management for the specific pages. So let's create our routes. I will give it a name route list, because in React Router DOM package our switch component has renamed to routes, so it will make some conflicts before the names. So I won't use the switch one. So it's not throwing an error. But it will be throw. It will throw. Let's use routes. So, okay, autopilot automatically completed our route definition. Here we are defining home page path. It will, if the user clicks or enters this URL from the browser's URL bar, this component will find the cross-pending component and render it for us. For more detail about React Router DOM, you can visit the documents for the package and read more detail about that. So we will cover the simple things about that. Let's import the home page here, like this, and we will also add admin route for admin page. Okay, it's cool. Our routing mechanism is ready. So let's import these routes here. I can delete these lines and route list. I can import route list here. So we included all the pages with the route list component to our application. Let's give it a try with npm start command. Okay, it is up. Let's give it a try with admin. With home, it looks like empty. We have home text here and the admin text for admin page. So we have a problem here. It couldn't render our pages. So here we routes here, routes path admin. Okay, I forget about one thing about the browser router from React Router DOM. Let's import it to app.js, and oops, we made a mistake here. It is so I think this is needed for our router, because there are some other definitions for routing. For example, we can also use hash routing for this, so we need to define which type of router will be used. So with this definition of browser router as router, we are using the classical approach for routing. We will see when we pass some URLs on the browser. So let's try. Okay, now it's okay, it's working. we wrap our homepage with our layout. In layout we have header and footer common components here. Let's try with admin. As you see, we can switch the components, pages actually. In layout header section we can make some changes. For example, our app logo, you can consider it, and we can create our navigation with the semantic here, and we can use link from React Router DOM. For home we can use just / and for admin we can use /admin. Now we will see this navigation for both home and admin because we are using same layout for both pages. So we will know we won't work on style, so maybe we can work on basic styling for better view, like for example this one. We can set display flex here and justify the content. Space around could be good, and I think the flex direction will be default horizontal, so there is no need to set a okay, here it is, our navigation, and maybe we can set some display. Maybe we can copy this one and paste here. Okay, not working for here, but no problem, we can leave it as it is. So on the layout section we can wrap the children with a div and pass some padding here, and so for the header section we can add some border bottom, solid 1 pixel, and so okay, we separate the edit a separator between the content and the header. So yeah, okay, let's assume that admin page is protected. We will not allow the user to access directly to the admin page. So at this point our package react-oidc will come to us and make our life is easier. So let's read some documentation about the examples. Here is on the app section. This is the top level up our node level, and we will wrap all of our components with OIDC provider component. So let's first wrap our application with the provider. We need to import, let's close this one. Okay. We need to import this component from the package like this. We need to pass the configuration to the component here. So in this example, we have these configuration object, so we can use this one here. It could be in a separate file on the project folder root. So in this example, we will not create a separate file for this. Let's read some properties about that. Client ID means that this is our client, web client. So in the identity server, these ID should be in there. By the system admin should be created. So it is not under our control. If we are the administrator of the identity server, so okay, we can create it, but if we are not, we should ask about that. So these configurations are also coming from the definition under the client in the server. For example, we can pass some custom URLs about redirect URL. This is the callback URL for the client, and this is the silent redirect URL for the authentication also. For example, you are working on the client, making some work on the UI. Your access tokens expire date has come, and you need to automatically refresh the tokens. So this is the silent URL for this mechanism. There are also some scope definitions. These are related with OpenID Connect standards, so I am not going to go in deep. And this is the server URLs, and this is the worker for background jobs, for example auto refresh tokens, etc. When you install the package with the npm install react-oidc OIDC command, it will automatically create some files here. One of them is OIDC service worker. There are some helper methods here about flow. You can think about auto refresh token. These are the methods for this also. And we have some definitions for trusted domains. Because you will make some connection between server and client, these definitions are needed for this communication. These properties are project specific configurations. So in this example, we will use the demo ones, but in your custom project, these will be different. So please be aware that these configurations will be changed on your custom project. So please change these values. I didn't touch this configuration. These are the automatically created ones, so we will just leave as it is. Okay, we wrapped our application with OIDC provider with the configuration also. So as I said before, I want the admin page is protected, so let's go to admin, and we need some documentation to understand how can we implement this. There is a component called OIDC secure from this package. We will import this one, and we will import and use this one like this. Let's format the document. Okay, so I will try to access admin. As you see, it didn't give to us an access. It automatically redirects us to the authentication screen. So this flow is managed by the package. We just wrap our protected page with this component. It is the redirection flow is automatically managed by the package. So as I said before, this is a very simple thing. It is really making our lives is easy. As I said, there were some default parameters on the configuration section here. So let me find it. Here our authority server is doandsoftware.com. We are connecting to this demo server, identity server. So it is automatically redirected to this server, and in this server there are some user definitions. As you see, there are some sample users here. I have texted some Bob here and clicking the login button, and voila, we are in the application again, our local host application again. I got the authentication and redirect back to the application, and now I can see the admin page. Let me close the tab, open again. As a user, I can directly insert the URL from here, localhost 3000 and /admin. Now, as you see, we have automatically authenticated and see the component here, admin page here. So how can we understand that we are authenticated or not? At this point, we need to add some elements to the UI. So let's read more about that on the documentation. For example, in this section, it's trying to tell us how to get the user information. We have a hook here, and it gets the user and the user loading state. We can directly use this code, or we can just get some pieces. For example, we have our header section here. In header section, in the layout, we can import the use OIDC user and read the documentation again, and we can copy, get this line, we are destructing these object properties from the hook. This hook is providing us this data. So on the header section, maybe we can use space between, and we can place the OIDC user info at the right position. Our GitHub autopilot is automatically placing the relevant code here. If we get this object, we can use this one. In this example, with the JSON stringify, we can write all the information in the OIDC user. So let's try this one. We have an error here. We need to close the curly braces because we are checking OIDC user if it is there. And also we have the loading state, but at this point we don't need to use, but there are some states: loading, unauthenticated. Maybe user can use the wrong values for authentication, so it is also catching this state. Maybe we can lose the connection between our identity server or maybe something else. So also these states are being catched with these constants. So in this case, we are not going to use. Okay. Let's see what will happen. Yeah, it's automatically refreshed the page, and these are the user informations from the identity server. Identity server give us a simple user object. The detailed user object comes from the API. So, but at this point, this is needed, and it's a natural one on our example, because we are just communicating with identity server, and identity server only contains the basic user information. So here maybe we can only use the name. So OIDC user name. Okay, here is our authenticated username, and I am navigating between the pages, and it is the same. It's not changing because this data is provided by our package from the identity server. I think we can also observe this data from our application local storage side. Here you are. Yeah. These are our result from identity server. We have many information here. As you see, our token endpoints, scopes, etc. Yeah, but we will not go directly to the local storage section. We will use our package helper methods. For example, maybe we can log access token for using Axios posts or gets. Let me find it on the documentation. Let me find. By the way, we have some other info here. Login, logout is authenticated. These are methods. Gives us some actions for callbacks. For example, on click callback, we can directly call login, and in this parameter, there is a string parameter here, the profile. When the user clicks login and if the user authenticates, if the authentication is successful, user will automatically redirect to profile page with this parameter. And as you know, logout will automatically log out us from this identity server. We will all use all these ones, but now I am trying to find the tokens. Yeah, there are some token infos here. Use OIDC token. Hook on the admin page. Let's import this one and copy this one. We also need to check this one, because if the user is not authenticated, these infos will be null, so it will break our application. So let's copy also, and okay, we can take it and we will see the result here. Here is our layout section. We can say that this is my title, and these ones can be in a paragraph here, so it will be okay. So let's see the results on the admin page. This is our token. Looks like an access token. We can use it for our API requests, and this info is related to access token, and this gives us some additional information, for example the expiration date. So maybe we can use this react token parser. Let's see it. Oops, sorry. Okay, yeah, it's working. This is the header information, and this is the payload here, and we have the expire date for our access token. It will end on this time 22:39, and now we are, yeah, there are about 5 minutes to expire. Okay, this is our access token, and it is valid, it is working. So as you see, we can access this info with this hook here. That's cool. This information can stay here. By the way, I will share this project on my GitHub profile, and I will share the link in the description. So import is the okay, we don't need to use duplicated imports here. It is the warning is about that. So okay, on the other hand, maybe we can use homepage for these actions. Let's create from scratch. We don't need to copy them. Here is my login, and on login we can use on click callback, and I can use this login method, and we can redirect to admin page after successful authentication. And if the user authenticated, we can log out it with our we don't need to pass any parameters here, and logout function. So let's import the login and logout from we have a hook. It is use OIDC, and our helper methods and property info are here. So let's implement it. Oops. Login logout is authenticated use OIDC. This hook is coming from this package as always. When you read the documentation here, you will see that it is imported from here, but I think they forget about that. It is the internal projects directory. You can simply import from the main package name. So our objects are ready here. So I will use is authenticated method here because I can only click logout if the user is authenticated, so I need to check this one. So okay, I think it is ready. Let's navigate to home. Actually, I am authenticated with the user Bob Smith, but I'm still showing login because I made mistake on rendering. I need to check if the user is not authenticated, then show the login button. Here is our conditional rendering here. Okay. No, it is not authenticated. Then render this button. Okay, we have an error here. I used the hook incorrectly. So it should work. Yes. I just see the logout button here. Let's press it. Yeah, it's working. It redirects me to the identity servers URL and showed me a message here. Logout. You are now logged out. Click here to return to the interactive client. If I click this one, yeah, it has automatically redirected to me to my client, and I see my login button. As you remember, we made a conditional rendering here. If the user is not authenticated here, then show me the login button here. If the user is authenticated, show the logout button here. It's cool. So let's try to access the admin here. Yeah, you are not authenticated, he said. So at this point, I expect it to redirect to the identity server's login page, but it didn't do that. It is strange because once I saw that, maybe I can read more about that. Because I'm not happy with the result of this screen. This is not meaningful, and there are no additional info here. Maybe I can stop and start the server again. Maybe I lost the connection between identity server. I don't know. Yeah. So let me clear the storage here. There was an option here. No, I'm not happy with that. It cannot do that. Okay, login is working as expected. I'm getting the token here. I am on the admin page because I defined it on the login method. Please redirect me to the admin page when the user successfully authenticated. On the home page, I am clicking the logout button, and now I am logged out, and no, it's not redirecting. Let me find. Okay, I found the issue because I'm not rendering the OIDC secure component here. I'm checking the ID token, so I am unauthenticated. Logged out ID token info is null. So it is just returning this DOM here. I can use this like this if the ID token is null. But it will not render because OIDC secure component will automatically redirect me to the login page. Maybe we can use this info on the home page. So let's cut these lines. I am not editing the video when I make mistake. I want you also see the errors what I faced. So it will be more useful, I think, because I'm a senior software developer, a front-end developer, but I can also make mistakes. So we are not robot. Okay, and I can take this part from here. No, not all this stuff from here. And yeah, we don't use direct return here, and I need to also check this one. Let's use conditional rendering here. This is just an info for some background actions, for example, as I said, Axios or something else, because we will not use this info directly for the UI. So we are just using this. Yeah, okay, we can get this info from the identity server and we can use it. So this is just an indicator. So let's delete these ones. Okay, I want to see the redirection. I'm on localhost. I am on the home page, trying to access the admin. Voila, I saw the expected result now. It is automatically redirect me to the authentication server, and now I am authenticating and can see the admin page here. And on the home page, as we moved from admin to home page, we can see the access token here. And where is the logout button? Did I make some mistake again? Cannot see. Yeah, I don't know why, but this info is preventing to show our login and logout buttons. Okay, that's not now problem. Not problem. We will not use this information on the UI, so we can keep them as commented. I think we covered the flow about the authentication flow. We have created an application from the React Create App template. We installed the React OIDC package, and we have implemented the authentication flow with the React Router DOM. We used a protected page called admin. On this page, if the user tries to access, we automatically redirect the user to the identity server's login page when the user gets authenticated. So we get the user back to the admin page. So this is the basic authentication flow which is used on the professional projects. To be honest, on my previous company, we were using React OIDC for the authentication. So we were using the same flow for the public and the protected pages. So I think it is clear. If there are some additional questions, you can directly write on the comments so I can reply as well. So thank you guys. Let's meet in the next video. Bye bye.